welcome to the Pittsburgh City Council Standing Committee's meeting for May 1st, 2019. My name is Michael Wentz, and with us today is Robin Schmidlin, our sign language interpreter. City Council will discuss the following legislation for preliminary vote. Finance and Law Committee, Reverend Burgess Chair. Bill 1595. Resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter an agreement for the hiring of SciComm data systems to continue maintaining and upgrading city law, the Department of Law's legal case management and administrative support software system at a cost not to exceed $11,346. Bill 1596. Resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the City of Pittsburgh at tax sales. Items A through G. A. 2602 Webster, 7131 and a half Vassar. C. 7626 Susquehanna. D. 7728 Susquehanna. E. 622 Grace. F. 2 Noblestown. And G. 2925 Hartman. Bill 1597. Resolution providing for the filing of petitions for the sale of certain property acquired at tax sales to a City of Pittsburgh-based community development corporation for the purpose of advancing the interests of the community through redevelopment. Items A through J. A. 401 Rosedale, 845 Excelsior. C. 1611 Antrim. D. 3306 Fleming. E. 1513 Antrim. F. 3259 McClure. G. 3261 McClure. H. 3267 McClure. I. 3269 McClure. And J. 3271 McClure. Bill 1598. Resolution providing for the conveyance by the City of Pittsburgh of certain property having been placed for sale to adjoining property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program. Items A through L. A. 5221 Hillcrest. B. 415 North Graham. C. 427 Vandalia. D. 627 Chess. E. 155 Fairview. F. 800 Fremore. G. 0 Marquise. H. 1614 Brighton. I. 1518 Brighton. J. 3809 Bonaventure. K. 2717 Staten. And L. 2719 Staten. Public Works Committee, Mrs. Cale Smith, Chair. Bill 1603. Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a professional service agreement between the City of Pittsburgh and Winston Design Development for architectural and engineering design services for a series of interior remodels for 6 fire stations within the City of Pittsburgh for the not to exceed amount $407,872.66. Bill 1604. Resolution amending Resolution number 438 of 2018 to extend the proposed term duration of a new lease agreement between the City of Pittsburgh and Fitz Conservatory and Botanical Garden for the Scaife Garage and Garden Center facility. Bill 1605. Resolution granting unto Deborah Hardin, 1804 Trislett Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15206, their successors, and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense a handicap ramp with handrail and landing at 1804 Chislett Street in the 10th Ward, 7th Council District of the city. Bill 1606, resolution providing for use of an agreement or contracts with ACOM Technical Services, Controller's Contract 51851, in order to assist the city with traffic support services and provide for the payment at a cost thereof not to exceed $30,689.89. Human Resources Committee, Mrs. Harris, Chair. Bill 1600, resolution providing that the City of Pittsburgh enter into a professional services agreement or contract with PSI Services, Talent Measurement and Education for professional consulting services in connection with police officer recruit candidate examination and selection services, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $225,000 over 3 years, subject to appropriation by City Council. Land Use and Economic Development Committee, Ms. Gross, Chair. Bill 1599, resolution providing for the designation as a historic structure under Title 11 of the Code of Ordinances that certain structure known as the South Side Presbyterian Church, located at 1926 Sarah Street in the South Side neighborhood in the 17th Ward, City of Pittsburgh. Intergovernmental Affairs Committee, Mr. O'Connor, Chair. Bill 1514, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the 21st and Smallman Mixed Commercial Development Project. The existing buildings will be or have been demolished, and new buildings will be a mixture of restaurant, retail, and office space. Parking will be provided via a 3-level parking deck over existing surface parking. The site is located on the north side of Smallman Street between 21st and 23rd Streets in the 2nd Ward of the City of Pittsburgh. Bill 1583, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facility plan for 3 crossings 2.0 southeast at 2801 Railroad Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15222. Bill 1601, resolution providing for an agreement providing for the design, repairs, maintenance, improvements, emergencies, and/or the purchase of materials, equipment, and supplies in connection with the I-579 CAP project and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $31,675,054. Bill 1602, resolution amending Resolution 468 of 2018, approved July 2nd, 2018, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the city to enter into agreements with the Sports and Exhibition Authority of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County in order to disperse certain funds to city for and facilitate construction of the I-579 CAP project in order to provide authorizations to require certain additional funding to facilitate construction of the I-579 CAP project. This concludes the reading for today, Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this pre-agenda item here for Pittsburgh City Council Standing Committee meeting of today, Wednesday, May 1st, May Day of 2019. Our first order of business, of course, are our pre-agenda appointments. Alicia Carberry to be a commissioner on our Shade Tree Commission, and James Hill to serve as a member of our Historic Review Commission. So with that, Madam Clerk, may I have the purpose of 1607 and 1625?
Bill 1607, resolution appointing Alicia Carberry as a commissioner of the Shade Tree Commission of the city for a term to expire May 31st, 2021. Bill 1625, resolution appointing James Hill to serve as a member of the Historic Review Commission for a term to expire March 31st, 2021.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good morning. Welcome. You have both been here before, so welcome back to the table. We tend to keep these rather casual. James and Alicia, both, I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself for the people that are viewing. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your desire to serve on the two commissions before us, and I'll open up to some questions or comments from members. So welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name's James Hill. I'm a resident of Manchester. I first really started loving history in elementary school. I was a part of a program called Mercy Miller, a partnership between the Pittsburgh History and Landmarks Foundation and Miller Elementary School. It was there that we got a historic plaque nomination for the school at the time, and I guess it just really stuck. It seems it always follows me at school. So when I was a student at Shenley High School, the chaos over its closure and relocation really doubled down on, to me, the importance of keeping our best public assets and beautiful historic buildings in the best form that we can. I mean, they're a part of the neighborhoods. They tell the character of the neighborhoods. Could you imagine Manchester, the South Side, without their historic brownstones? Specifically, code calls for someone with an outstanding interest and or knowledge in historic preservation. I certainly have an outstanding interest, and it's my hope to gain a lot of knowledge through this.
Thanks, James, very much. Good morning, Alicia. Welcome.
President. My name's Alicia Carberry. I am a resident of Polish Hill. I currently work as the operations assistant in the mayor's office and have been attending Shade Tree Commission meetings for the last year and a half with my former boss, Chief Operations Officer Guy Costa. For the last number of years, I've been involved in tree plantings. I'm a certified tree tender through Tree Pittsburgh, and I care very much about increasing the urban tree canopy, improving the quality of life for neighbors, improving air quality, and just the way that a street looks when it has trees on it. I'm really looking forward to joining the commission and learning a whole lot more and approaching tree issues from a more heavy policy perspective.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Councilman?
Good. I think they're both very well qualified. They have a passion for both of these boards, so I'm very supportive.
So I would only add this, in terms of the history of the city and the importance of preservation of the history of the city. One of the great things about living in an East Coast city like the city of Pittsburgh is we do have this rich history, and it is so very much an integral component of who we are. And I agree with you, the importance that we protect those elements of history that identify us and are part of our personality and our character. And I think you're going to be a perfect fit for that commission, and so I'm happily going to support you. And Alicia, I'd just like to add the importance of trees. One of the things that when I see people that come to visit the city for the first time, they are absolutely amazed at the urban forest that we have. They don't expect for us to have as much green space as what we have. And so not only does it to contribute to the overall appearance and vitality of the city, but studies have shown it reduces crime, it improves air, and overall spiritual, mental, and emotional health for everyone. So it's much more important than one might think that commission is, and again, I think you're going to be a perfect fit for that commission. So thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. Is there anything else with you, Councilman, or for you? Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn this pre-agenda item then? Okay, and I'll second it.
Good morning and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council Standing Committee meeting of Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. First order of business is public comment. Members of the public who wants to address council, please come forward. Start off with your name and either address or neighborhood. I will use this opportunity to remind everybody that the rules of council state that public comment is limited to matters of concern which are or may be before council. Profanity will not be permitted and order will be maintained at all times. First speaker, please.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Little Italy, Pittsburgh, Little Italy, Philadelphia. I recommend Democracy by Dr. Condoleezza Rice and anything that Kenneth Branagh does. The profanity prohibition is not in the rules of council. To complain, contact the Office of Solicitor, 412-255-2015. The Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2020, 412-969-7997. Teletext. You can contact me 24/7. A concern of Mr. Kraus, President of Council, and the Council is anti-racialist and anti-diversity action. WPEP allocation 10 April 2019, authorized by City Council, $350 for the White Political Empowerment Project. Oh, my mistake. That is the Black PEP, right? Mr. Kraus, President of Council, is ultimately responsible for this authorization. Black political empowerment. Why not white? Are you opposed to doing that? Is that not racist? Why not gold for Asian, or bronze, or copper? Supported by this council. 9 April 2019, in my view, was Bruce Kraus Day in the city of Pittsburgh with 5 proclamations. One of those K-procs was for the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Mr. Kraus, you have heralded the CLP as essential to our democracy. You had someone here, CLP administrator, for that proclamation. Not elected by the people, as far as I can tell, who used imperatives, be kind, be kind, be kind, like she was the High Lama from the old film Lost Horizon. But not get information, let the CLP help you become more intelligent, which is extremely difficult to do. If any of you have tried to use the CLP computer system, and it follows you everywhere. Any CLP city district extension head librarians elected by citizens of the districts? No. Any CLP board member, including Mr. Kraus, elected by citywide by the people of Pittsburgh? No, not democratic. Ms. Gross is a recent addition to the CLP board, as far as I can tell. But how did that happen? Did District 7 voters choose you? Did they choose this counselor for this job? While she reads and doesn't listen, doesn't watch what is going on in front of her, doesn't treat a citizen properly. That's what she's doing right now, citizens. Do you like being a prop to an anachronism, a political anachronism? Is there anything you people will not do for the Democratic Party?
My name is Les Ludwig. I live at 6589 Rosemore Street, and I've been coming down here for so long that I lost count. But the real problem is, who else, how many others are coming down? In democracy, where we're supposed to participate, nobody's showing. Ms. Brown, myself, Dave Adams occasionally, doctor, who just spoke. Is it the cost of parking? Should there be a card that someone gets when they want to speak a day before so that they can go ahead and park free of charge someplace or not get ticketed, as I have been many times? The investment over the years is quite sizable, although I didn't keep an exact record. So now, I've played a role as president of Men's Club Shalom, president of Gateway B'nai B'rith, etc. Many different roles fighting the opioid problem long before it was recognized with Dave Adams. Poway becomes a question of the role of what government should say, enough, we're going to try to find a way to stop, and not just in Pittsburgh and not just in Poway, but across this entire land. That a statement has to go out, and Pittsburgh, because of the loss of 11 lives, I think, should take a leadership role in presenting thinking at a national level to say that we're not going to stand for this. Even if it's body bags filled with paper with a dagger stuck through them, to say this is where it's going to stop. And if need be, live material, because the person who does the deeds that we're talking about deserves not trial and not prison, but deserves to be rewarded proportionately, and that means death. I wouldn't be so nice. So I came here today to present some thinking, and I hope that you'll take it to heart and move on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
David Adams, 119 White Pine Place, Pittsburgh, PA. I thought I'd get to introduce myself before my time starts.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you. David Adams, 119 White Pine Place, Pittsburgh, PA 15221. I'm here today to share with you information, as I always do. I don't know if you all have received or the mayor gave you your report from the NIAC, that's the National Infrastructure Committee from the Washington, D.C. and the Department of Homeland Security, warning us of catastrophic national blackouts long term. This is serious, and they just did a test down at Fort Bragg. 53,000 people affected were not informed to see what and how a base would respond to this catastrophic blackout. So the Conscience Group will be putting together this fall a think tank to deal with writing a draft, a citizen draft, for how citizens will survive a catastrophic blackout when this occurs. This also goes with our Citizen Emergency Planning Agency, and today I have submitted to you new language which will be incorporated in emergency planning and with this Citizen Emergency Agency. Now, Allegheny County yesterday, after 7 years, looked at the work and is in full support of our agency. It is the most cost-effective and citizen-focused emergency agency on record in the nation. But I also wanted to take half of my time today. Thank you, she is here today. When I first met this woman, I thought she was absolutely nuts, until I did what I've been asking you all to do, because you probably think the same thing about me, is I sat down with her. One day, she and I went to lunch, and I walked from here down to Station Square to get a fish sandwich with her, and we couldn't walk one block without at least 5 to 7 people stopping her, giving her a kiss, and hugging her. And I realized that this woman, as much as an emotion that she shows, she's fantastic for what she does. And Ms. Brown, would you please come up here, please? I want to thank her because I haven't seen any of you do it. And the Conscience Group is going to start welcoming and thanking citizens. Here's a gift card for $25 to Capone Flowers. Get yourself a basket of flowers for the work you do here over the years. Record of public service. This acknowledges that Miss Yvonne Downtown Brown, and that's what we named her, Downtown Brown, for her many years of diligent emotional, cultural, and personal contributions made to the successful efforts of actively engaging, informing, and the holding accountable of the City of Pittsburgh City Council. It's appreciated by the citizens of the City of Pittsburgh what this woman does. She spends her time, and as Les said, he's absolutely right. You all are doing everything possible to keep citizens from engaging you, and that's not representation as I see it. Thank you so much, sweetie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please.
I saw, my name is Yvonne F. Brown. I just saw Dr. Miller. And I said, they finished. He said, oh, you better get up there. I didn't know he was going to give me a proclamation, but I thank him. You know why? Because I've known some of years. One said, I don't want to hear what you got to say. Miss Brown should hear. Miss Brown should be. Another one said we should give Miss Brown a proclamation. I'm saying this because none of you will ever take it from me when I'm being discriminated against. None of you. Jim Furlow did. Jim Furlow. So I know you can do it. I know one of you should at least speak up for me, but you won't. Even when I bring my grandbabies down here, that's what I'm really upset about. I bring my grandbabies, you holler at me, scare my grandbabies. My grandbabies know this system. They watch, and they know. They will watch. If you can have 20 people, they will watch. As soon as they turn to you, they turn it off. Seriously. Once I brought the grandbaby down, so many people, I didn't let them speak. We went to Burger King, and we were sitting there eating. She said, Grandma, you didn't let me speak. I won't bring them down no more. You're not going to holler at Grandma. I'm B-Ma. They don't understand that. And I don't understand why you won't listen. Listen to this. They done shot at college again. I said, what's wrong with this picture? If you go to an army base, ain't you got fences all around? So someone, I called Katie Gay, the woman said that like I was crazy. Why wouldn't you have fences? They got to get through the fences to get to our babies. I said, no guns in school, but have the guns out there for the ones that try to get in. You're so busy, kids want to go to college, the college campus. You messed up this city when you closed Conley Vocational. My daughter was in the nursing class and she came and spoke. Don't close, but you did. But you did. You let Mr. Dow sell that building for very little. You just need to get better. And I am depressed because I can't speak like I should be able to. Even the reverend, good reverend. You know I don't call you a reverend because I think you're just the same as any man on the street. You put your pants on the same way. When you try to stop me, after I'd been out there crying, I said, they won't even let me speak. Oh, I promise you. And I came. You was having a post agenda, still having a post agenda. I go to sign up for the evening. Mary Beth, Mr. Burgess said you can. I said, if you don't, I'll sue. Now, she let me speak. But I said, what about the others? Do you understand? You got the big man, 6 feet something, screaming at me, you better not tell the president of council. Do you understand how I'm being inundated? The social worker up in the building chased me down, called me all kind of names. I went to the police. He wouldn't take this thing. 2 weeks later, he didn't call Western Psych on me. But see, I used to work at Western Psych.
Thank you very much. Any next speaker, please? Next speaker, please. Seeing no other speakers, we'll go to the roll call.
Mr. Coghill. Here. Ms. Gross. Here. Mrs. Harris.
Here.
President Kraus.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Mrs. Kell-Smith.
Here.
Reverend Burgess.
Here.
8 members present.
Thank you very much. First committee is the Finance Law Committee, which I am the chair. We have a new paper.
Bill 1595, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into an agreement for the hiring of SITECOM Data Systems, Inc. to continue maintaining and upgrading city law, the Department of Law's legal case management and administrative support software system at a cost not to exceed $11,346.
Need a motion? Need a second? Any conversation? No conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposers, nay. It takes us to the next bill, please.
Bill 1596, resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the city at tax sale, item A through G, 2602 Webster, 7131 and a half Vassar, 7626 and 7728 Susquehanna, 622 Grace, 2 Noblestown, and 2925 Hartman.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, is someone here from real estate?
Morning.
Morning. Tell me about the properties on Susquehanna Street, please. Who's the, I'm not familiar with the purchaser, if you tell me who they are. Is this the Ridgeway Capital Group, or is this somebody different?
Yeah, we just know that they're that group that, oh, sorry, Aaron Pickett, manager of real estate department. We just know that they're a corporation that we're interested in.
You know who they're connected to?
No.
All right, so since I don't recognize them at the top of my, well, I'll wait. I'll approve it now, I'll find out, and then if I have a problem, I'll delete it on Tuesday's meeting. So if we
Okay.
if you give me some information about who they are.
Yep.
Because there's a group that is working to do that in community, and I just want to make sure it's consistent with that group that's working already. Ms. Harris?
Okay.
Yes, I'll be abstaining on G because the neighborhood didn't get back to me yet on that one, and I'd like to get the sheets that I used to get.
Okay.
on.
Okay, sweet.
Thank you so
Yep.
much.
Smith?
Hi, could you tell me a little bit about E? It's the property on Grace Street in Mount Washington.
Yeah, we just know that it's for future development. That's what they indicated to us.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned because I think that there's some history here with some other properties, and so I'm gonna let it go this week. But if I don't get a better response and knowing that the CDC or the community is supportive, then I'm gonna pull it next week. Delete
Okay.
it next week.
Okay.
So, and if you could have them contact my office as well,
Okay.
I'd appreciate it.
All right, there's a motion approved on the table. Any more conversation? No conversation. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, nay. Next bill, please. Aye.
On all except for G, I'll be abstaining until I hear from the
I
neighborhood.
don't know you can do that. I think you can't do that. I think you cannot abstain. It's one bill. It's several properties, but it's one bill. So you're really abstaining on the whole bill.
Okay, I will
Which is
wait
okay.
till next week. And
So which one is your vote?
I'll vote aye today. If I don't get an answer, I'll pull it.
That's
Okay.
fine. Next
on
bill, please.
Tuesday.
Bill 1597, resolution providing for the
Thank
filing
you.
of petitions for the sale of certain property acquired at tax sale to a City of Pittsburgh-based community development corporation for the purpose of advancing the interests of the community through redevelopment items A through J. 401 Rosedale, 845 Excelsior, 1611 and 1513 Antrim, 3306 Fleming, 3259, 3261, 3267, 3269, and 3271 McClure.
Need a motion? Motion to approve. Need a second? Second. Any conversation? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill 1598, resolution providing for the conveyance by the city of certain property having been placed for sale to adjourning property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program, items A through L, 5221 Hillcrest, 415 North Graham, 427 Vidalia, 627 Chess, 155 Fairview, 800 Freedmore, 0 Marquez, 1614 1518 Brighton, 3809 Bonaventure, 2717 and 2719 Staten.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second
Any
discussion.
conversation, Ms. Harris?
If I don't get information on K and L by next Tuesday and an okay from the community, I guess I'll have to vote no on the whole bill.
Any other conversation?
Yeah, I would just say, I think that it would be helpful if people would give us a little synopsis. I know that they sent us the package, and we do look over those packages, but sometimes we get so much stuff. It'd be nice just to know ahead of time, so that we can talk to the community, make sure they're supportive of some of these things. Because the one just said holding for development, and, I mean, I don't know that anybody wants them to hold the property for development. So, I just think having a little bit more information. I think the side yard program is a great program, but sometimes we also have issues with those because people buy the side yard program and don't do exactly what the community had intended for them to do. So,
Any other conversation? See no other conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposers, nay. All right, that takes us to the invoice. Invoices are on the table. I need a motion for the invoice.
To approve.
Need a second? Any conversation on invoices? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. There are no interdepartmental transfers. There are P cards. P cards are also on the table. Need a motion for the P cards.
Motion to approve.
Need a second? All those in favor of the P cards signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. They're both approved. Thank you. That takes us to supplemental papers of Public Works. Ms. Cal Smith is the chair. We have a supplemental paper.
Bill 1622, resolution providing that the city enter into a professional services agreement and/or contracts with service providers for professional services in connection with the 2019 City Cuts Lawn Care Program and providing for the payment of costs thereof not to exceed $300,000.
Need a motion, Ms.
Motion to approve with discussion?
Second. Mrs. Kell Smith.
Yeah, I'd first like to thank the administration for their work on this. This was no easy task, taking a program from one district to a citywide program with just a little bit additional money. And I think that the Community Affairs Office, the Mayor's Office, and particularly Grant Gitlin and Molly and their teams, they did an amazing job with this, and I want to thank the mayor for being supportive of it as well, because this was one of the things, when we talked about affordable housing, I said it was important to me, because if we're going to talk about affordable housing, we need to worry about keeping people in their homes. And a lot of people in the city, this program is for elderly, disabled, and veterans. And a lot of people in those categories are struggling to hold on to their homes for issues that we're citing people for grass cutting that they cannot do. They don't have the ability to pay. They don't have the physical ability to do it. So I just think that this program helps us also attain that goal of affordable housing and helping people remain in their homes. And it also beautifies the neighborhoods. It employs local contractors who also employ local people. So it just has a multitude of benefits, and a real great benefit to the community itself, because the lawns are not overgrown. You're not getting rodents. You're not getting all the other things that come along with it. I wish we had additional funding to put into it, but I think once we get it up and running, like really effectively, and do it well this year, I think that council members will see the benefit of this program to their constituents. I've gotten calls when I did this program just in District 2 alone. I got calls from all over the city asking for this program in their neighborhoods, and so we know there's a need, and there's the list is filling up quickly. And so I just want to thank the administration, because I think that the volume of calls we're getting for these programs shows that there's definitely a need and a benefit for it.
Harris.
Yes, I think Councilwoman Smith did a wonderful job with this.
Thank you.
But what my concern is if someone could answer, how do they get on the list? Because some of them might not know until the communities know about this grass cutting. And I want to make sure that District 1 is helped, because we have a lot of seniors, a lot of veterans, a lot of disabled people. And with the Snow Angel program, they had called and they said that they didn't have any volunteers to do the snow removal. So I'm just wondering, what is actually going to be done? Is there somebody here?
Do you mind if I?
Sure.
So you can call, folks can call, and they've been sending this out through social media, through all the community meetings that the Community Affairs Office attends. They've sent letters and emails to people, or letters to people who were on the list previously, to make sure that they knew to register. You call 311 to register, or you can contact the Community Affairs Office and the Mayor's Office. And you have to do it quickly, because there's only so many slots. And I do know in your district they did some community outreach, particularly to try to get contractors, because they were trying to get contractors all over. And so I did ask about your area, because I knew you would care. And they were trying to reach out to folks there too. So I just want to say that I think that they've done a tremendous amount of outreach. There's been news releases telling people how to apply. We've shared it on the Community Affairs social media sites, on the mayor's sites, different sites, social media sites, but there's been a great outreach at the actual community events and meetings that they attend. And we go to the senior citizen centers and tell them about it as well.
Let this interrogative continue. Is there any?
Yes,
Sarah?
but
No, you're good.
a lot of the seniors
Are not on social
can't
media.
go to the senior centers, don't have computers, aren't on Facebook. And I know there's a number of veterans that aren't, and disabled people in my district.
And that's why they did the news releases. That's why I just want to say that part. So trying to find every angle.
I think, Ms. Harris, what you may want to do is after
I'm sorry, I just went
It was
making
over.
sure.
No, I
Because
know.
your concern is implementation, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I would suggest you reach out to the administration, to the proper department, and have a conversation about what their process is. In terms of funding the program, I think we all agree that the funding of the program is important. And I also think this shows the compassion of Ms. Smith. She's always, of all of our members of council, she's always the one who has, in my opinion, shown the most compassion and the most heart. Bringing people often who are not agreeing, try to bring them together, give them pizza. and
I'll be infamous for that pizza, this pizza
and
party.
even being a matchmaker when necessary. So I agree. I'm really appreciative of her big heart, and this program is certainly symbolic of that heart. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. We have a new paper.
Bill 1606, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a professional services agreement between the city and Winston Design Development for architectural and engineering design services for a series of interior remodels for the 6 fire stations within the city for an amount not to exceed $407,872.66.
Need a motion. Ms. Smith.
Motion to approve?
Need a second. Ms. Smith.
I think Councilwoman Harris, do you have a discussion?
Yes.
Some questions?
Harris.
Yes, could you
Mr.
come to the
Gable.
table, Director, and introduce yourself for the public? Both of you. Good morning, both of you. And let me just first say thank you to DPW, because you were always here for everything. You and Domi, I just want to thank you.
Mike Gable, Director for the Department of Public Works.
Chris Hornstein, Assistant Director of Public Works for Facilities.
So this
Defer
is
to Councilman.
Chris's area of facilities division, and he can explain what's going to happen here with these 6 fire stations.
You still have facilities?
Yes, we do. Still holding on to those, yes.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get a list and names, first off, from what is Public Works and what is Mobility and Infrastructure. And I have not got the list with phone numbers. It doesn't help our offices at all because it's very complicated. Things that you would think would be under you are not under you. So,
Well, I will try to make whatever information we can provide to you guys. I do send that memo up when I do have reassigning duties to different people. So maybe I to refresh that memo. I will do that.
Thank you so
and get you
much.
information. Sure.
Any conversation?
oh, I'm waiting for an answer on the firehouses.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is design services and construction documents for a series of remodels at 6 city fire stations. Fire stations 19, 23, 26,
Wait a minute, 19, 23, 26,
34, 35,
4,
and 38.
4.
And these interior remodels are intended to solve a couple problems. We do interior remodels for economically feasible design solutions that improve efficiency for the firefighters themselves. So we're going to be improving their living quarters as well as doing energy efficiency improvements. Also, this will allow us to kind of accommodate gender neutrality in those fire stations.
Okay, what I'd like to see is a list of what you're doing in particularly 35, 38, 34.
Okay, so all of those improvements for the energy efficiency, that will be interior remodels designed for energy
I know,
efficiency.
but I need to know because
Yeah, exact details.
especially 38 does not have any windows that can open up in there. They've had exhaust problems where they can't open a window and the exhaust is going in at them.
Oh
in
yeah,
the summertime,
all those
the
energy
sun-
improvements would include, likely are going to include new windows. They're going to include insulation in the walls. They're going to include smart building systems where we can tap into the station alerting investment that City Council has already approved and is underway and almost completed. That allows us to kind of control lighting when firefighters have to go out on calls, control cooking instruments, that type of thing.
Will this happen in-house or by contractors?
The construction will likely happen due to the level of construction and the need that it's very difficult for us to take a fire station offline to do this type of work. This is likely going to have to happen with a contractor, which of course will come back to bid and come through council.
Okay, because what has happened is, when they've had black mold, then they just put a piece of drywall on it, and it's still coming through.
Yeah, I would think with this type of improvement,
not safety.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, our first order of concern here is addressing a lot of the life, health, safety concerns that we have at all our firehouses. Obviously, we can't be everywhere at once to address those concerns. These type of improvements with the firefighters out of them, they allow us to kind of open up the walls and address a lot of those concerns that are really difficult for our guys to get to.
Okay, so if you would, please give me a list of what you're going to ask for from the contractor, because I want to make sure that everything that's really needed is on that list, not just frivolous
Happy to provide
items,
that.
but serious problems that we have there. And one of the issues, for example, is the city paid a contractor to put a roof on a 32 engine. The roof leaked the year after and is still leaking.
Well, then I'm going to take that back and figure out what that problem is, and we'll make sure that that's addressed. If it leaked right after it, that should be covered under warranty, and that should be repaired.
That's what I said. Thank you.
Smith.
So I just want to first thank you, DPW, because you're doing a lot of work, even though a lot of your department has been shifted to DOMI with the facilities projects especially. You have a lot of work and a lot of projects on your plate, and I want to thank you for that work, because I think you're doing an amazing job, and especially reaching out to the community and others. And I want to talk about the Elliott Firehouse.
Absolutely.
It's really in bad shape, and they're actually spending a lot of money because the truck somehow some part of the truck gets bent when they try to go in on the angle into the driveway, and so I know that there's a lot of reason to spend money to fix that up, not only for the safety of the firefighters and the condition, but also to preserve the equipment and to stretch out to maximize the use of the equipment or the length of the equipment. And we're working on the Stevens School building, and so I'm wondering if there's been any conversation of moving that firehouse into the Stevens School building, or any thought, or working with the firefighters to determine the best way to address that firehouse.
We have not had that discussion with the Bureau of Fire. We're certainly open to having that discussion. Now's a really good time to have it. I'll certainly reach out to Chief Jones and Chief Oval to open up that dialogue.
In the union, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I just want to know, when you determined this list, was there any input from the union? I know that you've certainly probably worked with the administration and the Bureau, but I'm wondering if you worked as well with the fire union, with fire.
Well, this list was created sometime before I arrived at the city. And some of these issues on this list are due to what we discovered when we were doing the station alerting and the presence of asbestos. And so this project would resolve a lot of those critical ones that we found with the station alerting project.
So I'm going to ask before next week that you talk to the firefighters, the union as well, and make sure they're comfortable with this list and the projects that you have identified, that they're in agreement with those. And if not, then I will recommit the bill next week and hold it until they are satisfied. So I just until we can work through any concerns they may have.
Absolutely.
So I just want to make sure that that their voice is heard as well, because we always know administration says one thing and sometimes unions say something a little bit different, or might have different priorities, even though they may work well together. We want to make sure that we're addressing the concerns of the actual rank and file too. So I just want to, but I do want to really thank you for your work on this, and to talk further about the Stevens School. And I hope that you talk with the union about Stevens as well, and the Elliott Firehouse, and also the Sheridan Firehouse. Mount Washington and Westwood, their firehouses are fairly new, and they look in fairly good shape to me. But I'll make sure that the unions also and the firefighters are okay with those conditions. But I do know Sheridan and Elliott firehouses need some attention.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your work.
Hey guys, I've been down here to raise it for the last half hour, Darlene, honestly. First thing was the firehouse at Beachview, Brookline, the improvements, they look fantastic. I think, the investment we made there was really good. Carrick, I know we had a female bathroom we were to put in. I didn't know if that was done or it was.
No, that would be part of this
Yeah,
project.
got
You know, just the need to do that type of stuff and take a bathroom online really inconveniences all
Right.
the firefighters.
Sure,
And
right.
so when I have the opportunity to kind of go into a fire station and do that level of remodel, I get one chance. I like to do as much as I possibly can while firefighters are out of it.
Right. And on a personal note, I want to thank both of you for, helping us out in Knoxville, selling the new proposed, 4th Division. I think that went really well. Councilwoman Cale Smith and Kraus and myself all have an interest in that, and we're looking forward to that. And to you, Director, I'll say, your department, Councilwoman Cale Smith's always complimenting your department, and I couldn't agree more. From your supervisors that you have, I rely on you heavily, and as you know, I'm very active with your department. So I can't say enough about the job you've been doing there. So it's nice to have that, being that that's the platform I ran on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else first round? No one else first round. We'll start with second round with Ms. Harris.
You said an old list. How old is this list?
I'm several years in the making.
Okay, I'd really appreciate if you would go out to 34, 35, and 38 before Tuesday and see if your list matches what the problems really are.
Absolutely. I'll make it a priority.
Okay, and can you let me know, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments?
And I just want to say I'm going to come down after the meeting because I have 3 issues which aren't on the agenda. Thank you.
Any other conversation? No other conversation?
I just want to say, I think our union is pretty much on top of things. I'm sure they probably already did look at this list, and usually they contact us. They're one of the unions that, few unions that actually do contact us ahead of time if they have a concern. So I'm hoping that they have seen this list. That's all I'll say.
Motion to approve on the table. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill 1604, resolution amending resolution number 438 to extend the proposed term duration of a new lease agreement between the city and Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Garden for the Scaife Garage and Garden Center facility.
Need a motion, Ms. Smith.
Motion to approve.
Need a second. Oh, Ms. Smith?
Whose district is this in?
It's in Oakland, I think.
I'm sorry, I didn't read it.
Strasburg.
Okay.
Any-
We'll approve, and if she has any concerns,
This is the garden center, Phipps Garden Center in Mellon Park.
yeah, and if
Not
she
the
has,
Phipps
if she has any
Conservatory.
concerns, then we'll recommit it next week, but I will check with her office. Okay.
Ms. Gross?
Yeah, so I just want to ask kind of what happened. So the way I'm reading in the text file is on June 14th, 2018, we did authorize a new lease agreement. It says that we're leasing them the property for the Scaife Garage, or do we own the whole garage, or do we just own the land? It says Scaife Garage located on Mellon Park Road, adjacent to the public parking lot and garden center, and for an annual rental fee of $1 per year until May 31st, 2031.
So the garage that was there it was used both by Public Works on the lower level for storing equipment for the personnel that worked in the park, and the upper floor was used by City Parks, the art program. Phipps Garden Center is desiring to expand the garden center more into the parking lot, if you're familiar with that area of Mellon Park. So they require to take that area that the garage was in, and we're fine with it because City Parks has other places that they're able to relocate to. They're in other buildings right there on the grounds, and it really is not going to have any effect on my maintenance in Mellon Park because there's another building down below closer to Fifth Avenue that we can store equipment in. So the reason for the extension of the lease too is for Phipps, for the intent of their expansion, to provide the funders that there's this long-term agreement with the city. There's a current one, as you said, that goes until May of 2031, and this is extending it to 2047, like a 29-year, 364 days.
Right. So even though we're talking about Phipps, the organization, this lot in question is actually in Mellon Park, which is near Fifth Avenue and Shady Avenue.
Right off of Shady there.
And so how much of that site do we own? Because
We
it's
own-
complicated. Do we
No,
own
we
like
own-
the whole?
We own the whole park.
The whole
Yeah.
park, and that includes the Pittsburgh Center for the Arts
Yeah, they just,
building?
we just
or
have
which
lease
is on the
agreements with
park?
them. So, it's still our assets, all those buildings. I mean, the garage is going to be taken down, and Phipps is going to expand their garden center to make a more, a different entrance, so to speak. But in the end, all those improvements still become city assets. They're still city assets.
Good to know. So, it's a great garden center. I've been there myself, all that kind of stuff. But so this is, again, just for clarity, how long have we been leasing this garage to them so far?
We haven't.
Because
This
it was
is-
renewed a year ago.
No, it's, they haven't taken possession of the garage yet.
Okay.
Yes, they're still in the design phase of their expansion project.
Okay.
Hasn't been finalized.
So a year ago, you got our permission to have a lease through 2031.
Yes.
But now Phipps is wanting to have it leased through 2047
That's correct.
in order to raise the funds for the capital project.
We believe that's the reason behind that is to show their funders and contributors that there's this long-term arrangement with the city.
And I just want to make sure that we're clear. They're raising the money, they're building a garage.
No, they're building, the garage will come down, and they will be expanding their current footprint into that garage area.
Okay. And so we're leasing them the ground. But again, you said we own the whole park and we own all the facilities, but we wouldn't own the building that they're building.
Anything in city property, we do own. It becomes a city's asset. Just like Shenley Plaza, they build a porch. If they decide that becomes our building, it's our asset.
Okay. Just for clarity's sake, it's interesting because we've done it back the other way as well, where we've kind of, this council, even since I've been here, has done both things. When the library was doing a capital project, we actually went to Orphans Court and relinquished our ownership of libraries, and now they are no longer city assets. They are Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh assets, like the East Liberty branch. But here,
the zoo, the aviary, and Phipps long-term arrangement back in '93, they are still our assets, even though somebody else is operating. Not likely they're going to ever come back to us, but if they do, it's still city buildings, the city assets.
I'm glad I asked. I like for the city to retain control of city assets.
Yeah, we're not really giving anything up, and it's never a lot. It's just a garage, and it's probably not in the best of shape. And
we can call it the people's property.
It's still the people's parks, right?
Thank you.
At this moment.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill
Thank you.
1605.
Thank you, Director.
Resolution
Have a good day.
granting unto Deborah Hardin their successors and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense a handicap ramp with handrail and landing at 804 Chislett Street in the 10th Ward, 7 Council District.
Need a motion, Ms. Smith.
Motion to approve?
Need a second.
Second
Any conversation? Ms. Harris?
Whose district is this? Deb's?
No. Oh, yeah.
Here.
Yes.
Question,
Who's
Ms.
here?
Harris.
I don't know who's here to answer.
What's the question? It's a handicap law.
I know what it is. I'm wondering, Richard has passed away now, and I'm wondering if he is, or who is taking care of the handicap ramp, and are they taking care of the one-step program?
Well, I don't know. There's no one here to do that, but I think you can chat with them, not necessarily related to this bill.
Director, do you want to come to the table? Good morning, Director. Thank you for also always being here.
Question, Ms. Harris.
Okay, it's very
Wait,
confusing.
could you introduce yourself for the public, please?
I'm Karina Ricks. I'm the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's very confusing now because Richard was always involved with the handicap ramps and the one-step program. Is that now in your department?
So Richard has passed away,
Right.
and the Department of City Planning will replace his position. It is vacant at the time for the time being, and so in the absence in this gap period, the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure is coordinating the one-step program
Okay.
until that position is filled.
Okay, I have a concern in one of my communities, so I'll call you.
Is that position in the budget? Under
Yeah.
city
Yeah.
planning, under city planning?
It's the same.
Any other conversation? See no conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill 1606, resolution providing for use of an agreement and/or contract with AECom Technical Services, Inc. in order to assist the city with traffic support services and provide for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $30,689.89.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve?
Need a second? Question, discussion?
What is support?
So again, this is just to provide technical support, consulting, assistance for various tasks in the traffic department. This is
Such
professional
as?
signal reviews, traffic impact analyses reviews.
Traffic studies?
This is not to conduct traffic studies. This is to provide technical review support services.
My concern is that we have not done any traffic studies for the bike lanes. And my concern is if someone gets hurt, they're going to ask in court where is a traffic study, and we don't have any, because I've asked for them before.
But
If you could look into that, please.
Thank you very much, Ms. Smith.
Or we could put it in the budget for next year. So I would just, I just really want to mention Grandview Avenue. There's a lot of calls. I'm getting a lot of complaints. People in the past have complained about the speeding on Grandview, the loud noises with the motorcycles, also on Merrimack Street, and some concerns with Virginia Avenue and the condition of it. And you did have a meeting up there, and we had agreed on some things that we would do. And now we're talking about putting in temporary. Could you please talk a little bit about what you're trying to do? Because I think people were unclear. They're thinking that you're putting in speed humps permanently. And so I want people to understand this is a temporary fix just to try to address and assess the problems.
Right. So we have, under your guidance and the through the budget process, we've established a neighborhood traffic calming program, which I believe we've got projects in every district of the city that are advancing. Grandview Avenue is one that your community raised as being, and Virginia and Merrimack. We have a number of tools in the toolbox that we can use for traffic calming purposes. It goes beyond speed humps and stop signs, which I think is what most people believe are the interventions available to them. However, on certain streets like Grandview, we are uncertain what is going to really be able to both address the need that has been articulated and be satisfactory to the local community and stakeholders of that street. And so what we are doing, we have put stop signs on portions of Grandview Avenue in one segment of the street. We have mixed compliance. I think you would agree on some of those. So some of those stop signs where not all of the motorists stop completely to allow pedestrians to cross, which was the intent of those stop signs. In this area, we've heard about the noise and speeding associated with, in particular, motorcycles that are in the area. One intervention that we believe will be impactful in addressing that articulated need is through using speed humps. However, the local community has concerns about speed humps. Before we go and do any intervention permanently on that street, because of the number, how important that street is and the number of stakeholders that you have, we want to do a demonstration and a pilot. And so we have rubber speed humps, not asphalt. They're rubber modular removable speed humps.
And if they don't work here, they can be moved to another
That's
part
correct.
of the city.
Our intent is that we will put them out for just a short period of time. We will take them out when we said we'll take them out, and then together with the community and with the my staff, we'll decide if that provided the intervention that the community wanted, if it had the effect that we wanted, and if we then want to go with that as a permanent solution, then we will go back later and do them in asphalt as permanent. But these are temporary. They will be a limited
Until it's
period of
determined
time.
later. Okay.
We will measure and they will come out.
And so I just want to say that I think that the divisions occurring, that the Grandview Avenue residents, the majority seem to want the speed humps, or wants something to address the noise and the speeding and things that are occurring there. And the majority of residents behind Grandview Avenue, not on Grandview, feel differently because they also travel that road. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how this is going to solve that issue, but I'm not an engineer, so I'm hoping that your engineers have thought this through. But I will make sure that we take them out in time and evaluate the situation. But I think that I think you get stuck with a lot of issues that have been plaguing the city for a long time. Lack of enforcement, the problems. Councilman Coghill's constituent came in yesterday talking about the parking on some streets that are they're parking on sidewalks, and we have that issue across the city. And I think part of that is what a lot of times we have a lot of renters now in the city where we didn't before, and a lot of renters come with multiple renters, multiple vehicles, and a lot of times when city planning approves a property for rental, they approve with maybe 2 parking spots per building. Well, somebody comes in with 4 vehicles or more vehicles because they have multiple people renting. You're not seeing the enforcement. And so we have residents that are complaining if they park on the street, their mirrors are getting knocked off, their insurance is increasing, and they have issues. And if we have people not parking on the sidewalk, or if they feel like they have to park on the sidewalk because of that reason. And if people do that, then there's people with disabilities, with bicycles and strollers who can't walk and travel on it safely. And so in our area, previously, a commander had a internal policy that if there were 2 tires on a curb, then they would be okay, and if there was not. But I really think that's not the answer. I really think enforcement's the answer, yet you're getting stuck with it to come up with some solutions. And I really think that the issue is we need better enforcement and better coordination of enforcement between Parking Authority and the Pittsburgh Police, and one uniform policy and how they're going to enforce. Because while the commander in one zone had one solution, it was not the same in all neighborhoods and with all commanders, and it was not the same with Parking Authority. So somebody could think that this was the policy, and they would park 2 tires on a curb, and then they'd get a ticket from Parking Authority, not from the police. So I think there just needs to be some uniform policy around that and some enforcement, so that not all these things, these traffic issues, they're falling to you because obviously Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, but there are some things that should take place prior to that. Enforcement's one. And when we're giving permits for two vehicles per household, then we need to either find some way that we're going to enforce that or find additional parking in those neighborhoods. That's all I'll say. Thank you.
If I could just add to that speed is an issue with that too. A lot.
Yeah, the
speed. If we can get
a lot of things.
If we can get travel speeds down, oftentimes our streets are wide enough for parking without going up onto the side. Not everywhere, but in some places it is wide enough that they can park without going up onto the sidewalk. However, when vehicles are traveling 30 and 40 miles an hour, that's when people get very nervous about the damage that will come to their vehicles, that they're not traveling at slow rates of speed where they can maneuver on the street without.
And I think that the people don't understand that you don't have control of the speed in the city of Pittsburgh. But you can't enforce them. So for that, I'll just say that I think that we need to have some conversations with Senator Fontana, State Representative Deasy, which I have already begun having those conversations, that we need to have that kind of power over our municipality to at least set our speed limits. I mean, especially in some of these residential streets, sometimes 25 miles an hour with a little kid playing outside is fast, you know what I mean? So I think that 15 miles an hour on some residential streets makes sense. Not all, but some. So anyway, we'll have those conversations. But I just want to thank you for your work, because I know you're getting inundated with a lot of things. Thanks. And we'll continue to work on the Grandview Avenue projects.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coghill.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a tricky problem. It's our geography. I mean, we have little mountain, little goat paths, really, and people are parking on both sides of the street, and you can barely get by. But I just wanted to ask a quick question while I have you here, Karina. I don't know if this is for you or not, but size of vehicles, like if somebody parks a U-Haul van on a residential street, like an 18-wheeler, pretty much. Is that allowed? Is that not allowed? What is it? Do you know?
unless it's specifically excluded, there are certain, you can't park certain vehicles for certain durations of time on some streets, but.
You can't park
Yeah.
commercial vehicles
18.
overnight
Yeah.
on a city
Okay.
street.
Yeah, I'm not an 18-wheeler, but, something close to that. I think it was 30, 40,
Not overnight.
40 feet long.
Not
So,
overnight, yeah.
so we're just trying to figure that out, but.
Any other conversation? No other conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. It takes us to Human Resources Committee.
Director
Ms. Harris is the chair. We have a new paper.
Bill 1600, resolution providing that the city enter into a professional services agreement and/or contract with PSI Services Talent Measurement and Education for professional consulting services in connection with police officer recruit candidate examination and selection services, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $225,000 over 3 years, subject to appropriation by City Council.
Motion to approve.
Second, before the conversation, Ms. Gross, you want to say something? No?
Apologize, I have another speaking engagement that I have to leave for.
Do you want to leave
so-
it? I vote for the bills left or not?
I do not, thank you.
You do not. Thank you very much. Ms. Harris?
I have no questions.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill 1599, resolution providing for the designation as a historic structure and under Title 11 of the Code of Ordinances that certain structure known as the South Side Presbyterian Church located at 1926 Sarah Street in the South Side neighborhood, 17th Ward of the city.
Need a motion to hold for public hearing.
So moved.
Need a
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. Takes us to the last committee of the day, Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. Mr. Carter is the chair. We have a deferred paper.
Bill 1514, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh Official Source Facilities Plan for the 21st installment mixed commercial development project. The existing building will be or have been demolished, and new buildings will be a mixture of restaurants, retail, and office space. Parking will be provided via a 3-level parking deck over existing surface parking. The site is located on the north side of Smallman Street between 21st and 23rd in the 2nd Ward.
Need a motion, Mr. Carter.
Motion to hold 4 weeks. This bill has not been approved by other agencies, is what I've been told. I don't know why it came to us, so 4 weeks, hopefully it gets back to
Is there a
us.
second?
SEA's here.
Is there a second?
This is not the SCA.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill 1583, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh Official Sewer Facilities Plan for 3 crossings, 2.0 southeast at 2801 Railroad Street.
Motion to approve, brief discussion.
Second.
Mr. Carter.
Councilwoman Gross left, but she is supportive of this. I know you have a very, very brief presentation.
Yes, hi, my name is Tyson Miller with KU Resources, the civil engineer for the project.
That was brief.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion approved.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay.
She did want me to just point out that this is not in a priority sewer shed.
All right, thank you very much. It has been approved. Thank you very much for your participation. We have a new paper.
Bill 1601, resolution providing for an agreement, providing for the design, repairs, maintenance, improvements, emergencies, and/or the purchase of materials, equipment, and supplies in connection with the I-579 CAP project and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $31,675,054.
First of all, I need a motion to approve.
Can we read the next bill as well? It's companion pieces.
Sure.
On the CAP program.
Bill 1602, resolution amending Resolution 468, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with the Sports and Exhibition Authority in Allegheny County in order to disperse certain funds to the city for and facilitate construction of the I-579 CAP project in order to provide authorizations to acquire certain additional funding to facilitate construction of the I-579 CAP project.
Motion to approve, discussion.
Need a second.
Second.
Now, we have two amendments by substitution for 1601, 1602. If Mr. Connor would present them both in one motion, I think you do
Yes,
both in one motion.
motion to amend 1601 and 1602.
Second.
Second, all those in favor of the substitution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposers, nay. All right, so the bills have been amended. They are now open on the table as amended. Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you. These are just real technical changes. We've already approved this project in the past. This is the project that goes over the Boulevard of the Allies, connecting downtown and the old Civic Arena site over the 579. But we approved this. These are just some technical changes with the GROW program.
Thank you very much for your work. Ms. Harris.
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment on it. Leave it to Mary, she'll get it done. But this is something I've been trying to get over 279 in the area of the north side where, the noise of the vehicles from 579 is a problem. So now that I see where we can get the grants from, I'll just start working on it.
Motion to approve on the table.
Thank you, Mary.
Motion to approve on the table. All in favor of these two bills, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there's nay. All right, that ends this, bills part of the meeting. I do have two announcements. Next Tuesday, May 7th at 1:30, Councilman Corey O'Connor will chair a Cablecast post-agenda discussion on the youth participatory budget. And next Wednesday, May 8th at 1:30, Council will hold a Cablecast public hearing on Bill 2019-1492 as it relates to a conditional use application for West Liberty Elementary School. All right, with that, I saw Ms. Harris first.
Yes. I have a concern because anything that's going to be put on the agenda should be put on the agenda. We should have a 48-hour notice. When they put James Hill on, it was not a 48-hour notice. Therefore, I would like time to speak on that, whether he's here or he's not. But I really think that he could come back. He's over to the mayor's office anyhow. Another day when we have a 48-hour notice.
Duly noted. I will take your request and send it to the president, and he and the clerk will deliberate.
Well, I mean, he needs to go by the rules.
Again,
Bottom line.
Again, I will send your information and your request to the president and the clerk. I will notify them of your concern, and they will respond.
The clerk's office needs to go by the rules, too.
They will respond. Next question, next concern. Ms. Smith.
All right, I can't remember what I was going to say.
All right. Any other conversation? Hearing no other conversation, all those we want to, I need a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. We are adjourned.